OK, let's talk about your mortgages again. We were doing it at home last night, actually. How much will our payments go up after this latest increase? How much have they actually gone up over the past year? Eek. Now, we're lucky enough that we'll manage fine, but think especially of first home buyers who really stretched themselves and now are hit by these rate increases. Real mortgage stress will be setting in right around this country as we speak. And the thing here is that homeowners have every right to feel aggrieved. I mean, in a quite extraordinary intervention 2 years ago, the Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe, he infamously told us that interest rates would remain at their record lows for at least another 3 years, all the way through till 2024. And he was emphatic.
Our central scenario continues to be that the condition for a rise in the cash rate will not be met until 2024. As I said in my opening remarks, we still are of the view that it's unlikely that the cash rate will be increased before 2024. So that's the logic for thinking that inflation is not going to rise sustainably to be in the 2 to 3% range until 24, and therefore interest rates.
Little wonder then, is it, that people went out and mortgaged themselves to the hilt and the banks fed them the money. But of course, inflation has soared since then, and we've had 9 interest rate increases. 9. And there'll still be more before we get to 2024. Unbelievable, isn't it? Missed it by that much, did the Governor, Philip Lowe. How are we expected to have any faith in the Reserve Bank Governor's current predictions and therefore his judgment and the actions he's taking now? Little wonder he's become a controversial figure. The normal rules about respecting his independence don't seem to matter anymore. I mean, yesterday morning, one senior government minister was trying to tell the RBA what not to do.
I think inflation's coming down as it is. So the Reserve Bank, I hope, and some of the commentators who are urging them on to keep lifting the rates, they just need to take a deep breath. You don't want to cause bigger problems to Australians who are paying mortgages when the inflation problem is beginning to recede anyway.
And the Greens, well, yeah, sure, it's only the Greens and they're about as credible on economics as they are on climate change, but they're calling for the Governor's head.
Jim Chalmers has got to stop ducking for cover, and he's got to do 2 things. Firstly, he's got to ask Philip Lowe for his resignation, because unfortunately for Dr Lowe, he's still got to go.
And now even the Nationals, through their leader David Littleproud no less, are offering public advice about what the Reserve Bank of Australia should do when it comes to the predicted future interest rate rises.
Well, I think the RBA should just put the finger out the window and just smell the breeze and understand what's happening with households out there. While they get a lot of data and look at it at a macro level, they need to understand there's unintended consequences of going too quick.
Yeah, now that probably doesn't really show respect for the bank's independence, does it? But it's probably also good advice. And frankly, it's hard for anyone to have confidence in what the RBA is doing with interest rates anymore. Philip Lowe did at least apologise once for that inadvertent misleading of people and what it led to in terms of their mortgage decisions. And the opposition used that today as leverage against the Prime Minister in question time.
Last year, the RBA Governor apologised to any Australian affected by his advice that interest rates would stay low. Prior to the election, the Prime Minister went even further than Governor Lowe and actually promised cheaper mortgages. Why has the Prime Minister failed to offer the same apology? Why do Australian families always pay more under Labor?
Yeah, well, that question caused a bit of a stir, and just like the union donation question yesterday, it didn't really get an answer. Suffice to say, the government will continue to wear every interest rate increase, the same way they're going to have to wear every electricity price rise. Household budgets will really be stretched this year, and the politics of the hip pocket, well, they're going to be as powerful as ever. And politicians, business people and taxpayers do not have confidence in the way the economy is being run. The Albanese Labor government is under extreme pressure, but while all this has been unfolding, the Treasurer has been busy writing that self-indulgent essay waxing lyrical about reforming global capitalism and society and even democracy. Chalmerism might just have to wait a while, because if the Treasurer can't help contain household costs, inflation and interest rates, Labor will get a very sharp lesson in democracy.